Hey guys, it's Andrew from the Las Vegas Advisor reminding you to click on the link in the description box below to get your 2025 Member Rewards coupon book. Food coupons, gambling coupons, all kinds of cool stuff to do in that Member Rewards coupon book. You can also use the code word Andrew for a minus $5 discount off of your Member Rewards book. Link in the description box below.
Hi, and welcome to the Las Vegas Advisor interview series. Today we are joined by Bill Krackomberger, the Krackman. I'm going to kick it over to Anthony to give a little background.
Krackman in the house. All right, so let me talk a little bit about you, and then you're going to talk about yourself.
Okay.
Bill, advantage player, longtime advantage player. I've known him for quite a while, actually, off and on.
Yeah.
Gotten to be better friends over the years. Somewhat of an LVA turnout. He confided in me that he read the LVA years and years ago.
30 years ago.
He was getting started. One of the interesting things about Bill is he's probably one among the most public of the known gamblers out there. He's on all kinds of media. He's got his own podcast, Cracks. He's a weekly guest on Unscripted with Gil Alexander and VSiN. He was featured in the documentary Action, which we'll talk a little bit about.
Sure.
He's also one of the more, I would say, controversial, polarizing figures out there. I mean, he's got, we've all got our haters, but
Sure.
You've got a few more than some of the others, perhaps, which we'll talk about. We've had these kinds of people before. We've had Fezzik. He's got his detractors. We had Scott Robin. We had even Vegas Matt, that a lot of people don't like for this reason or that, as an influencer. So now we've got Krackman, who probably leads the pack.
Really?
I think so. You might.
Okay.
We'll talk a little bit. No, not. You don't beat Fezzik.
People hate Steve.
Yeah, nobody.
I mean,
nobody
not
beats
that I
Fezzik.
want to be, not that I'm saying I'm better than him, but
What I'm saying is, I kind of said that wrong. I think you lead the pack for being opinionated.
Yeah.
You've got strong opinions.
Sure.
And that's always going to cause a little bit of a problem. But let's kind of go at the start. We'll let you talk. Tell us a little bit of your history, like where you came from. I know you started in New York.
yeah, I grew up on a Jersey Shore boardwalk town. My family's from the Bronx, but I grew up from the boardwalk town in Jersey Shore, Kingsburg, New Jersey. Little 1 mile square, Irish, Catholic, Hungarian. That's my family, Hungarian. And my mother was Italian, so Italian town. And it was a gambling town, though. It was a boardwalk. So I worked on the boardwalk since I'm 9 years old. And that town, it was a rite of passage for gambling in my family anyway. It really was. Think about Jersey. So we had the lottery. We have racetracks, casinos. Of course, we have bingos every night at a firehouse had bingos. Poker games. Now you have these wheels of chance, which for the customers to win merchandise and stuffed animals and even cigarettes and different candy and toys. At nighttime, when the customers went away, all the merchant guys, they got together and gambled. We gambled. We played AC Deucey. It was a game that you guys know what that is, AC Deucey.
Yeah.
AC Deucey. We played different card games, but Hold'em wasn't even a thing back then. This is the 70s now.
You play like short course games, right? Short course like hearts, spades,
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
Exactly right there, right. Some of the jailhouse games even you're talking about, right? Yeah, exactly. But even the wheels, which were to win the merchandise, they became gambling wheels and stuff. So my cousin Anthony, who I worked for in the pizza business since I'm 9, he was very smart though. Always the smart guy in the family. The Fordham grad, the very smart guy. He knew gambling. He went to a card counting class in North Jersey, and at 13 he showed me about counting cards. And just with a simple deck of cards, he would run them down, and then he'd guess. This is how good he was. He would not guess. He knew how many aces were left, how many fives were left. He was great at it. And sure enough, he got himself barred from all the casinos. I remember Tropicana was called Trop World then. They were going over, and that was they just opened or something, and then he got himself barred from there, and he was it was like a badge of honor, but really you don't want to get barred.
No.
I wish I never ever played blackjack. I wish I didn't know. Even, I can't help myself. When I go in a casino, I'll just stand there with someone if they're playing, and I'll do like a halves count rundown real quick or something. But I wish I never did. I wish I never got my name in the Griffin book. I wish I never got involved in it because it hurts me for other promotions. But I know I'm going to go all over the place here. Let's get back to where I was originally. So I'm a kid, and my Irish Catholic Hungarian father and my Italian mother. Every weekend we'd have they'd have games in the house where the men would play pinochle, the females would play gin, and they would play continental, which was a form of gin, and they would gamble. And it was like nothing, no big deal. Your dad would take you to Monmouth Park Racetrack, and 9, 10 years old, not thinking nothing of it. Those parlay cards, if you remember them, on the East Coast we had them. And we would get them and fill out four winners, and 4 out of 4 paid $10 for $1. And it's an innocent thing, you think, and that's how I started doing that. Then the next thing I know, I'm in 9th, 10th, 11th grade. I'm the gambler in the school, and we're pitching quarters behind the post office. We're flipping quarters in wood shop. I was known as the gambler in school and probably the bad seed. But I had my cousin Anthony showing me a lot of things. We were playing in my garage. I remember after school, I was playing head-to-head blackjack with people, dealing down to the bottom, where I knew the edge a little bit there at 15, 16. Yeah. So I was taking money there, but I was a stone-cold sucker and blowing it at the racetrack. Mm-hmm. I was an idiot. I was a loser, really, for most of my life, having fun, but I was a loser.
You mean you get the money from one as a house, and then you would take it to the track.
Yeah, it's funny. That's what they like a lot of these hustlers that are hustling machines in casinos. They'll wait for bonuses on the machines that you guys have books on, and they'll blow it playing baccarat or something. It's unbelievable. So it's the same kind of a thing. But one day I get a call from someone that's in jail, believe it or not, in Atlantic County Jail. I'm about 22, 23 years old. I get a call, and he says, something's going on down at the Golden Nugget. The old Golden Nugget was the old Golden Nugget in Atlantic City, turned into Bally's Grand. And he said, there's something going on there. I don't know. I heard about these guys. One guy in here was talking about this little, gaff they have there, this little edge they have there. He said, I don't know what it is, but it's going on. So I said, I drove down 2 hours from North Jersey all the way down to Atlantic City, 1 in the morning, and the place is dead, except for that bank of 12 machines. I still don't know what's going on there. And God opened the heavens and let the older man that was on the corner seat get up from that seat. Sitting in that seat changed my life. The guy next to me was an advantage gambler, an advantage sports bettor, and he changed my life. He first of all, he's about 6'5", and he's very meticulous, and he's taking the coins. By the way, there was coins you had to put in dollar tokens.
Tito,
right, dollar tokens. There were rolls of 20, and you give. So he's like, "Oh, do you mind buying 2 rolls of tokens off me?" I said, "Yeah, sure. There's $40. You give me the tokens. I'm putting them in. I still don't know what I'm doing." And he's like, yeah, we want to keep the hoppers full. I don't even know what a hopper is. Mm-hmm. A hopper was like the underneath, right? Anthony, you know more than me. It was like where the coins would come out.
Yeah, that's right.
To keep the coins so they wouldn't have to come over and dump more bags of coins in the machine. Right. So he said, we're trying to keep the hoppers full. And he acted like I knew what I was doing too, but I didn't. And I realized, looking over at his machine as I'm putting the coins in, he had this way of just taking the coins and going, dropping the coins in. I'm like, this guy's a pro. Whatever he's doing, I'm following him. So I'm watching him. I'm betting my dollar. By the way, I got about $1,000, maybe $1,500 in the bank. I'm working 2 jobs, blue collar family. By the way, we grew up blue collar. I worked. No one's worked more blue collar jobs than me. Sold cemetery property, sold radio ads, worked in restaurants. I can go on and on. I worked a lot of blue collar jobs. So I'm watching the guy, and I'm realizing there's a surrender feature. And the surrender feature on the game, surrender, for anyone who doesn't know, you get half your money back at some of the bigger tables in town. They don't do it at the smaller tables. Some of the bigger 8-deck or 6-deck shoes, they give you. So if you want to...
This was a blackjack
game.
You sat down at.
Blackjack machine,
okay,
I sat down.
You were talking slots.
No, I'm sorry.
I thought he was talking video poker.
Yeah, see? I'm all around. But I'm glad you got that out of me.
Okay.
Blackjack machine. Surrender, you get back half your money normally, 50%. So if you have a 16 versus 10, you surrender, you get back half your money. However, this machine had a little flaw. If you could push the button and get your whole dollar back.
Oh, so surrender for 100%.
Surrender for 100%. I know it sounds like nothing, probably. It's a little edge.
It's huge.
Anthony will probably tell you it's a giant edge.
It's enormous.
So if you're actually supposed to surrender 18 versus 10 on that situation because 18 is a losing hand. So you could picture. Now, I don't know all the indicators. I don't know if I'm supposed to surrender my 17 versus an 8. I don't know 17 versus 9. I don't even know that, but I'm watching.
You don't need to.
You don't need.
You're close enough.
Close enough. I'm watching Frank, by the way. Frank, my buddy Frank. I still talk to him till this day. Frank, very wealthy today, by the way. Frank can buy and sell a lot of people many times over. He's my buddy, though. Great guy. I put him on action with me. So Frank I'm watching what he's doing and trying to figure out what I'm doing the same thing. And I'm winning and I'm building up the machines and building up. I like 5 or 6x my bankroll that night.
I never heard that story.
The next day we all got thrown out the next day.
Well, I've heard of all of these different things that have happened around the country.
Yeah.
I never heard that story. I never heard of 100% surrender.
Yeah, they threw us out. When I say threw us out, they closed all the machines and took all our points away, which is a big part of your gambling advantage, is getting the points. But the big part was to make money. So anyway, that leaded me to Frank saying to me, do you have any bookmakers you play with up there in New York? And I was like, oh, yeah, I play with a couple of local guys. You know, this is 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago. And I was like, yeah. He goes, well, I have some guys in Philadelphia, and, you know, we could make some money probably because they're skewed to the lines towards the Philly lines. You're skewed towards the New York lines. We can make some money middling and scalping. I don't know what that means, middling and scalping. I have no idea what that means. So he's like, you know, we lay 3, take 4 long term. It's worth a lot of money. Needless to say, we exchanged phone numbers. Frank at the time, I could say it now, he was working for Resorts International, which was a big casino. Still there, Resorts. And he was the head of the blackjack card counting team for the casino. That's right. The casino used to employ people that are experts. Now they just tell you floor people just to learn how to count.
As catchers, they call them.
Catchers.
Yeah, counter catchers.
So he would, so by daytime, he was throwing people out. By nighttime, he was doing the same thing, looking for advantages himself, you know, putting on his cape and flying around the casinos, doing the same thing. But I know Frank too well. He didn't care. He was letting the people count. Go ahead, have some fun, as long as you don't kill us, you know, which I wish that's the way it was today with casinos. But Frank and I became partners the next 10 years, and I was much more aggressive. And you talk about luck in life. Life's a lot of luck. Life was lucky for me. Frank said, well, I have about $250,000 that I have, and I have a couple accounts. These new places are coming up offshore. And he says, if you want to go with it, just take my money and start playing. You know, I have to work 50 hours a week, so you could take my money and you can work. So I got to use Frank's bankroll to build up a very healthy bankroll for us together. So much so that, you know, Frank could have quit his job already, though, but he did quit his job eventually. And
what were you doing with it?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Listen,
sports, or was
all sports. We had sports books that were giving us 100% bonuses. You deposit $10,000, you get $10,000. Yeah, I remember this.
The glory days of the offshores.
Listen,
and all that.
Spiro just got inducted in the hall. Inducted? Is that the right word? I didn't say indicted, right? Inducted. Okay, inducted in the Hall of Fame here.
The Greek.
Yeah, the Greek. So thegreek.com, I've known Spiro for a long time too. And he had a place in Jamaica. So he had thegreek.com. Now he bought Bet Jamaica, and he opened up a site. And anyone that you opened up a Bet Jamaica account, we'll match your deposits up to $10,000. Well, guess what? All I did was push a button. I remember that pushing that button, I transferred from the same exact company, the Greek, to Bet Jamaica, and I made $10,000. That's how easy it was back then. And by the way, I'm only mentioning one. There was so many. We had places that on Fridays, it was late 90s, that would always let you, it was half point Fridays or free point Fridays. They would give you free half a point. You can move the games from 3 to 3.5 or 3 to 2.5 for free. Okay. So, and which is obviously a big value to do, of course, on the key numbers. And back then,
now they charge a big juice.
Now they charge too much juice, so you can't do it. Game Day, Aces Gold, Sports Market. We had a lot of places that would.
Aces Gold.
Well, Aces Gold. Charlie Thurwanger wound up screwing everyone in the end. I lost $40,000. But you want to know something? It takes money to make money. I made a lot more money because of Aces Gold than that $40,000. Yeah, I'm mad that he screwed everybody, you know. But I got screwed by a lot of different bookmakers and a lot of different, you know, partners in life and agents and different people you used to play with. So, but that's what I did. I grew up in that gambling family. I was shown the right way by my cousin Anthony. I was shown the right way by Frank. He showed me a lot of stuff. But I want to tell you who else I was shown by. This guy. It's hard to believe. I'm not trying to kiss nobody's ass. I'm just telling the truth. I remember telling my wife about this Las Vegas advisor. I said, you know, this is a great thing you get in the mail. It pays for itself. And they have the coupon book. You go to Vegas and, you know, what's the name of that place that we used to spin the wheel? Vegas.
Vacation Village?
Vacation Village.
Yeah.
Get off the plane. We go to Vacation Village. We spin the wheel. We got a chance to get our airfare, both of us. And my wife's thinking like, we won a 6-pack of soda 4 times. We never ever won that free airfare.
Right.
But it was just a chance to do it. You know, it's a 60 to 1 shot to get back my $200. There's a peg on the wheel, and it's just the aces in the phone book going around to it was the Four Queens, I think, one of the casinos that closed down. No, it wasn't the Four Queens. What was the one where the Grand is now downtown?
Lady Luck.
Lady Luck. It was Lady Luck. There was a Lady Luck coupon. There was always edges back then, and I read a lot of them. I look so much forward to getting that Las Vegas Advisor every single week. And it's a shameless plug, but I'm just telling you that you're one of the reasons why I looked up to and found these little edges. And those little 10s and 20s and 50s, I want to tell you something. They add up.
Yep.
You have some coupons now and there. Now, I haven't had it. I'm going to try to shake them down for one before I leave. But there's one that, like, I would love to play the one. I heard on the show the other day, you know, I watch your shows, a $500 bonus for a Royal or something.
That's
Yeah.
right, at the
That's
Sand Dollar.
Yeah, Sand Dollar at the Plaza.
Now,
Yeah.
is that out? That's an outdoor bar?
Nope, it's indoor.
Oh, it is indoor.
Yeah, it's attached. It's part of the casino.
I just know there has to be. I don't know the pay schedules. I know there. If you're getting $500 extra, $500. I know there has to be something there that's worth over 100% with the $500.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, absolutely. They've got. You want to play the game there to maximize that coupon. You want to play the 50-cent bonus poker deluxe, 9.6 bonus poker deluxe.
Okay.
Takes it to about 101.6.
Oh,
is
there
the
you go.
return on that.
That's the 4 of a kind pays 400. That game.
Yeah.
Is that the right one?
Yeah.
So I just know that, like, they're little edges, and I'll be blunt. I don't know how, out of all these Fugazi podcasts that are on the internet, which I see such ridiculous charlatans and snake oil salesmen and selling systems and strategies and BS, I don't know how you guys aren't at 100,000 subscribers, and it pays for itself, the information.
We
That's all I'm
we
saying.
don't promote so well. I think it's that we don't promote tremendously, and a lot of people just don't believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, people like you saying things, that's great. Third party endorsement is
Sure.
great. They just don't believe it. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. People like you, a lot of people have come up to me over the years who have gotten very successful at it and said, "Man, I started with the Las Vegas Advisor and the ideas and the things that you put forth there."
Doesn't that make you feel good?
Forward. It does.
I love when because I have a platform of responsible gambling too. Even though I make my money sports betting, even though I do other things, even though my I have advertisers behind me when I do a Fox Nationwide show on the weekend. Doesn't matter. I still have that responsible gambling platform because I know what it is to be that loser and that sucker and that idiot. And I know how easy it is to bet. But go to Yankee Stadium, left field, center field, right field. There's advertisements everywhere for sports betting. Hey, Dad, let me play this. Sure enough, here's the phone. Go ahead. I think it's harmless. I understand. And like I say on every show, every single college in America has a gambling problem. Every single college. They think it's fun. They think it's happy. Oh, let me bet parlays. Let's have some fun. Because you see all these guys these Fugazi guys lying and saying, oh, yeah, look how easy this is. $5, I won 80,000. Well, those little fives add up to 10s, 20s, 50s, 100s. Before you know it, you're borrowing off mom and dad and you're in a homeless shelter.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things we've always tried to do. We've always tried to say, this is risky. Be careful. Yeah. I used to worry. Andrew and I have talked about this.
Oh, yeah.
I said we worry about, we make it look glamorous, we make it look good, but we've got to we always talk about risk. We always talk about variance, right? We always bring it up. We always talk about Keno being bad, right? That kind of thing.
It's terrible, but I also do get hypnotized by Keno. I get into it, and I want to make my shapes and my, I want to get my spots.
It's funny you say Keno because I have a pretty good social media platform between Instagram and Twitter. It's me on Twitter every day. My assistant does Instagram and TikTok. Recently, I put up a Keno thing about Keno, how bad it was, and there was a whole bunch of people that came after me.
Oh, yeah.
They actually, there's like some dedicated Keno people. I'm just saying it's a 20% game. It's a bad house game compared to video poker. It could be 20 times worse. Some people made some good points, though. I want to tell you something. I thought about this. Someone said, well, I go to the Keno Lounge at one of the stations, Red Rock. So I go there, I relax for an hour, I play my card, it's real slow, I get a drink, I'm able to...
Yeah.
He made a good point to me.
But that's live Keno.
That's
I
live
mean,
Keno.
what people are playing now is killing them. Now these video Keno games that Andrew really likes, these are 9 to 12%ers. So they're not 20, they're not 30, like the live Keno, but they're 50 times as fast,
Right.
100 times as fast.
Oh my God.
And that speed put together with that edge is devastating. And
That's
people,
not as bad as I thought, though. I thought they were much worse, the Kenos. 9 to 12%. The slot machine's 12%. So
the Keno games will go. Well, the thing is this: you go to a bar and you play their crappy 6-5 bonus poker, and you're giving up 3%. All right, or you're giving up about 3%. you play the blackjack. Most blackjack games on the machines are somewhere around 4% because of even money on blackjacks and things like that. Right now, you go 3 times worse. You're going to 12%. You're going to 9. You're going to 12, and it's faster than all of it. I mean, it's almost as fast as video poker.
Right.
So it's it's just a dangerous thing that it's hard to get through people's heads because they want that big hit. They want that big hit that changes their week, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And I got to tell you though, going back to sports betting, so all those years with Frank, I'm middling and scalping games. We're putting more on the bad side. So what I mean by that is, we'll bet $1,000 on something that's -4.5. It goes to 7 everywhere, and then we'll come back the other side plus 7 for $800, keeping $200 more on that hot side. And we made a lot of money doing it, but we could have made a lot more just taking the $1,000 side, not buying back. The cold side was a cold side. We were basically scalping for the sports books that we were buying back with. So we were giving them all the square action, trying to buy back and
To
middle
hedge?
thing.
You were doing that to hedge to
Yeah,
reduce
we're
the
trying to
variance
middle
on
gain.
it?
Hopefully it lands on 5 or 6 or even 7. You get a side. But in the end, I was going to say, I'll talk about Billy Walters in a minute. But I wind up reading a lot of these sites, and I wind up writing for a site called the RX.com. Ken Weitzner had a site called the RX.com. I wound up writing for his site. Here you go, a kid, barely graduated high school. I'm writing articles. It's so lucky, to write an article for Ken Weitzner. And he was overpaying me. He was paying me a ridiculous amount of money to write an article every week on advantage gambling or things I know. I would go to the different jurisdictions, Panama, Curacao, Costa Rica, Antigua, and check the sports books out, how they work, this and that. And it's a lot of them BS me, too, in the end, and screw me out of money, and screw people out of money. It's really a shame. But I would write them articles and talk about the industry, talk about edges, talk about the value of 3 and 7. And Ken introduced me to Billy Walters. And I heard of Billy Walters, didn't really know much about him, but I heard that he was a real sharp sports bettor, didn't know much about the operation until Ken introduced me to him. And I'm not going to say he changed my life, but he showed me the right way. There's no buying back, Crack. You don't buy back. You just go with that one side. And Billy had a great handicapper, Michael Kent. God bless him. He died. Michael's in the Gambling Hall of Fame downtown, which he should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't agree with everyone that's in the Hall of Fame, by the way. There's some names in there I just don't know what they did to deserve to have their name next to a guy like Michael Kent.
Was it the Sports Betting Hall of Fame?
Sports Betting Hall of Fame. Yeah, there's some people in there that really don't deserve to be next to the great Bob Martin, the great Billy Walters, the great Michael Kent. Anyway, and I know I say the great Billy Walters. People say, wait, what did he do? Listen, I want to tell you something about Billy. One of the most generous guys in the world. Helped so many people. Give away, charities, millions of dollars. Always gave away things privately, quietly. I don't mean to embarrass him. I'm allowed to talk about Billy now. I asked him. I said, listen, I hear your name everywhere. Can I talk about what we did a little bit? But Billy was a great guy, and I think is still a great guy, and very generous guy with his time, very passionate about what he does. Now, I do know once in a while, if you find a leak in your organization, yes, you're going to give them the wrong side of the game. Sure, if you want to leak and bet on your own, it's like the movie Casino when they're taking the money out of the box in the casino. And they go back home to Kansas City, and what do you mean someone's taking our money? Well, listen, these are my guys, so they're going to take a little anyway. No matter how much, they're still going to take a little anyway. So I get how that works with sports betting. I get it. But maybe he put someone on the wrong side of the game because they were going to move the game the wrong way, and then the right side goes out, and he gets the right way. I understand the different things. I'm just saying about the guy. So, Billy was always good to me, and I learned a lot of things by him. And listen, me and Frank did our own power ratings. We did a lot of our own stuff back then. And then don't forget the internet was just coming out at the time. So we did a lot of things before the Don Best screen hit, before we had indicators in the market of, there was a sports book called Rio in Costa Rica. They would get hit first. Jazz would get hit first. We knew which way the line was going to go. I did. I was doing most of the work. And so I knew which way the line was going to go. Just keeping your eye on that screen, which is a job 24/7. Every morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, Vegas time. There was a lot of work to be done back then. This wasn't just giving us money. And then you had to overcome the people. You have to overcome so many different things. You have to have so many skill sets and so many vices, not chase, not worry about I don't even sweat games at all now. I went out to eat last night when I had 3 props on the game. I don't even sweat the games.
You don't watch.
Yeah, I don't watch them. I mean, I'll watch them on Sundays because Yeah, I do my Fox show 10 to 1 o'clock comes on. I'll go to breakfast and I'll come home and I'll watch the games. But I'm not sweating the games like everyone else. And there's no chase factor at night after the game's over and you're upset and you want to just get even. Let me get even on it. Why do you think those games exist? Why do you think those primetime games? Why do you think the Sunday night game exists? Why do you think the Monday night game exists? I know it exists for viewership and money and things. Trust me. It's people want to get out on those games too. Right. So that's why back in New York and New Jersey, they always ended the week on a Monday. It didn't end on Sunday. It ended on Monday. You settled on Monday. Why? The bookmaker knows you're going to have action on Monday night. That's what these kids now, these people that are out there now. I know, just because the game's on TV, Sunday, Thursday, Monday, you have to have action on the game. I understand. But I'm just telling you, that becomes a sickness. It's just like people in the casino that just say, oh, God, just let me just get even, and I'm going to leave, and I'm not going to gamble again for a while. Yeah, okay. Yeah. You know, it is what it is, and I'm just telling you, I know what the human components are made up of. I know what the human condition is. I know what happens. Because I've been there. I've been that sucker. I've been that loser. I've been that guy that tries to chase. It's great being on the other side of the counter. I love, and when I say that, I love being on the bookmaker's side. I'm on the bookmaker's side more often than not on the games. So the marquee games, I'm going to have the other side that the bookmaker's rooting for the most part. And I enjoy being on their side, but yet a lot of the bookmakers hate me. I've been thrown out of so many local bookmakers. Forget it. Yeah. Like I'll ask you to get a account. Hey, your buddy, I have guys in the poker game. Hey, play with my guy. I bet 5,000 again. He's the best. Of course he's the best. You lose. Of course he's the best. Right. You know, you're going to get me in there laying 3 when it closes 4.5 at the beginning. You're going to get thrown out or limited or not paid.
So you do a lot of number stuff. It sounds like you don't handicap at all, but I've heard you say that you basically have partners who model.
Yes.
So essentially you are handicapping.
Sure.
You know, you're handicapping and you're playing numbers. You know, you're shopping.
Yes.
Doing the best. I mean, yesterday, last night, what that game end? That game fell 43. I don't bet many overs. You know, I'm usually an under better, but I did bet this game over. Okay. And it was 43.5 everywhere. I found 143 and I bet it.
Key number.
It landed 43.
You gotta push.
You got to look, right? You've got to look around. So you've got to, it sounds to me like you blend this, you model, but you're also voraciously seeking numbers in the best, best spots.
You have to have the sharp sports books for that. Believe it or not, the sharper sports books would have had a lower number. So maybe like a Circa or a Pinnacle or a Chris, someone like that would have that lower number of the 43, where all the square books, even a place like Stations or Boyd Coast, they'll have 44 even. So and those numbers land. They're key numbers. In the NFL, used to be 37 was the key number. Now it can go. Now you don't find 37s anymore. So it's 43, 44. These are the key numbers. Mm-hmm. Good for you. You actually found a 43.
Yeah, one. There was just one.
And you got really lucky on that.
Yeah, I was looking for a sweat bet.
That's great, though, isn't
I'm
it?
just like, okay, I found the 43. I bet the 43.
All right, you had some fun.
Cool.
All right. Bill, I got a question for you.
Sure.
You're famous for betting sports, but what other games do you play? What other gambling games do you currently play?
I enjoy video poker, and I'll just tell you this. I was probably a lifetime break-even video poker player until 2 years ago. I ran pretty lucky. I'm not trying to throw the casino under the bus, but some of the casinos have backed me off now from playing video poker. And like I said, I get millions of views on social media. I made videos in there all the time, how beautiful this play, the win. I love the win, and I'll always still love the win. But now I don't say back me off. Like I'm still allowed to play there, but I was getting $1,000 a week to come in and play. And also my wife was getting $1,000 a week to come in and play. And we ran a little bit lucky on video poker. I won less than $200,000. It sounds like a lot, but it's really not for all the volume I'm playing. I'm playing, $125 a spin. And
I was wondering that.
It's a big game.
Yeah.
Just ran lucky though. I got dealt like 4 deuces on the deuces game. And
so you're playing $25 now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just ran a little bit lucky and won some money there. Finally, but I was taking a comp every week from the casino. They were giving me rooms whenever I want. People come in town, I put them in the rooms. I'm not one of those. A lot of these nits sell rooms. I've never sold a room in my life. I'm so happy to make somebody's day to let them stay at a casino where I get free rooms anyway. I'll let them stay in any of my. I don't sell them. That's a lot of advantage players though. Part of their advantage is selling rooms. I will not do that. I let them stay at the Win, and they say, Bill, that was the nicest place in the world.
Yeah.
I can never come to Vegas again and put me at like whatever, downtown or even a place on the strip like Excalibur or Luxor. And that's what happened recently. I put someone at the Wynn, and then he went over to MGM. He's like, I can't believe the difference. I walked miles at MGM. Like, he's like, the Wynn is unbelievable. So
It is.
but they have a right to back me off too. I understand, but sometimes their marketing and media departments don't realize that I'm reaching core gamblers on my my followings, and literally I have some of my things will go viral with millions of hits. I've had 10 million views in a month. I've had some TikTok videos and just recently on Twitter I had a video that had 14 million views. Like they're unique. I'm not saying I'm anything special. Trust me. All I'm saying is they're gamblers for the most part that's following me. So imagine me talking about how great the Wynn is and the thread count and how beautiful the casino is. You put billboards all over the place. New York, New Jersey, Wynn, Las Vegas. Here you have a guy that's getting millions of views. Let's piss him off and let's just, throw
It
him
doesn't
out.
make any sense.
It's crazy.
Doesn't make any.
There's a disconnect. You have people that don't know the pulse of the business that are running marketing departments that never gambled in their life.
And what's wrong is they're making that decision based on your result. And
Correct.
like you said, you ran lucky.
Yeah.
You're giving them the action. You're probably playing at least small
Negative
negative.
EV.
Yeah. And but you ran lucky, so they all of a sudden assume something that makes no sense.
Yes, it's someone with a college degree on the wall that's never gambled before, and they say, "Oh, let's get rid of this guy." He's now recently I had a big executive in town. He's going to see this too. He came up to me and said, "Listen, my boss came up to me and said you took $140,000 from us last year." I had to explain to him that you give us a lot of press, though, also, and thank God for you doing this. I'm going to actually show you the clip so you see it. Thank God for you having the street smarts and common sense and decision-making skills to tell your boss, hey, look what this guy does for us. Look at the views he gets. Look at the things he advertises. I don't do that because I'm winning. I do it because you deserve it. Like, I didn't talk about Anthony Curtis and the Las Vegas Advisor just because I was going to be on the show. I talk about that because that's positive EV. It's something that I enjoy doing. So you're absolutely right, though.
Cool. All right. So one quick question on that to finish it up.
Sure.
How did you learn video poker? Like, did you read
Probably
Dancer? Did you read Gene Scott?
You know what? I have to say, probably from Bob Dancer, involved with you on something or another. Mm-hmm. It's probably through Bob Dancer reading those strategy charts. I have this thing on my phone. It may be his, and I don't even know it. So I have this thing called Win Poker. Is that him?
Yeah.
That's
That's
him?
him. That's Dancer, Win Poker.
Win Poker. I enjoy this software.
It's great. So you use tutoring software to
I enjoy that.
help you, and you learn. You absorb that.
Yeah,
information.
I do. I thought that was his. But Bob's a little bit weird too. My buddy Pat Trafficano died, casino host.
Oh my God, you knew Pat?
Oh yeah, of course. I know Pat 25 years. So Pat, he says to me, Billy, this Bob Dancer, he's a weirdo. I said, why, Pat? What happened? He goes, he comes in, I tell him, come on, eat, don't worry, I'm signing your comps whenever you need this and that. Hey, Bob, you got one of those books? Yeah, $25.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like, how can you not have common sense to give him a book for free, Bob? What's up? Anyway.
Bob Dancer.
Yeah. Anyways.
Well, I'll talk to you about Pat after the show.
Oh, really?
I'll be darned. I knew him well.
Oh,
If we're talking about the same
buddy.
from the Trop.
Yeah, Pat was from the Trop.
The backgammon.
Yeah, Pat was, that's exactly right. Oh yeah.
My God,
my buddy Pat.
We got some stories. I'll tell you. I'll tell you after.
Oh yeah.
All right, so we're going to pivot a little bit.
Sure.
Talk about something that I think you're willing to talk about.
Talk about anything you want. Anything you want.
When a lot of people said have Crack on, have Krackman on the show, and a bunch of people said don't have him.
A bunch?
He's several. Several.
Okay.
Said no, don't have him. He's a tout.
Oof,
All right?
I hate that word.
He's got a pick service.
Yeah, I do.
I want to talk about your pick service. You didn't want me to say it, but I'm going to say it.
Because I don't want you to. I didn't want you to say the name of it.
I'm going to say
I'm not good. I don't promote
you're
stuff.
not doing it. It's called crackwins.com.
Yeah.
All right. This is the source of the most criticism about you.
Yeah.
So, do you feel the need to discuss it, to defend
Sure,
it?
I don't care.